a fascist, he's a felon, he's a pedophile, and this has all been proven. They're not targeting if they're illegal, they're not targeting if they're a felon, they're targeting brown. He's arresting the working class. He's kidnapping the immigrants that are here.
We have a few more clips to debunk from the MAGA street interview guy that we've covered a few times the last couple weeks, this time on Trump and MAGA in general, so strap in, it's sure to get spicy. Leave us a like on the video if you can, it helps us out a ton in the algorithm, and let's hop right in.
He's a fascist, he's a felon, he's a pedophile, and this has all been proven, one after the other.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it. The people for him know it. The people against him know it. So I guess the question is, why would you want someone like that to be in charge of the country?
You know, a lot of people that I speak with, let's say I'm in Huntington Beach during a different time, they'll say he's the best president they've ever had. He's representing the American people, especially the working class. What would your response to that be? No, yeah, please.
He's arresting the working class. He's kidnapping the immigrants that are here working. They're not sitting on their ass. They're out in the field working. They're in restaurants.
Are you talking about illegal immigrants?
I'm talking about every immigrant.
All the immigrants?
All the immigrants, which we all are. We're all immigrants. But no, I'm talking about the...
So just anybody that's brown, he's removing them, yeah.
Because that's what they're targeting. They're not targeting if they're illegal. They're not targeting if they're a felon. They're targeting brown.
He's clearly just not very good at this. I love how his response to her objectively true description of Trump was, oh, well, some people tell me that he's good. I'm sure some people would have told you Charles Manson was good too. I mean, Trump is a 34 count felon. And not only that, but the under-discussed part of those felonies is that he committed them in an act to boost himself to the presidency, where he then went on to try and steal the 2020 election and is now trying to gerrymander his way into ensuring the 2026 majority victory. We know even without the Epstein files, he's done some pretty PDF questionable things, walking into teen changing rooms, telling 10-year-olds he'd marry them in 10 years. So defending his PDF buddies is just the cherry on top. It's not the only proof, it's far from it, but MAGA supporters will always justify it to themselves one way or the other, as their vote directly leads to brown people being targeted by ICE, among other things.
That's a big thing for the administration to be doing, if that is true.
That's fact.
It's fact. So what is your basis for saying that?
What is the basis for saying what?
Just brown people, like my camera guy. Is he going to get deported?
You know, there's a chance. I can't guarantee. I mean, honest to God.
You think the chance is pretty good, though?
No, I don't know what the chance is. All I know is
it's over for you, Eric.
$168 billion have been allotted to what's it called? ICE.
Yes.
That's to hire more. I was saying maybe every block is going to have...
Border Patrol, wall.
They're going to have their own ICE agent. Every block. He's got enough money to put an ICE agent.
That's a hell of a campaign promise right there.
That's not a promise. That's a threat.
They say this at every step. It's whatever plausible deniability they can give themselves, because when it actually happens, they'll just say, haha, Uno reverse, I support this. They said we were doing fake news when we told them that ICE would be walking the streets. We said that we were doing fake news when we said that citizens would inevitably be detained. Now it's, well, it's Biden's fault for letting them in. Trump is doing what he has to, and of course mistakes will be made or whatever. There's no culpability to be had about the chaos they are unnecessarily causing. And for him to pretend that what she's saying is the absurdity is to clearly deny reality here. We've covered numerous citizens who have been detained and held for days. George Redis, he's a U.S. veteran in that case, or months even. I think Ward, again, last name, I think Salik. We covered her, American. She's a Palestinian American, was detained for months. So these are things that are actually happening to real people. But I understand how some will feel comfortable when it's not them that it's happening to. But my question is, in the least humane sense and just a strictly pragmatic sense, why take that chance?
What should the punishment be for entering the country illegally? What should happen to people?
They should probably be put on the road to becoming legal. I'm sure a lot of them don't know how to do that, and they're coming over because they are, believe it or not, it's worse where they're come from than here. So they're giving up everything to come across the border to hopefully make a better life.
Should there be any limitations on immigration then? Should anybody just be allowed to come into the United States?
Well, he said, this is what he said, is that he wasn't going to let, the felons and the people, thank you, who had criminal records come in, or those were the ones he was going to arrest, and that isn't what happened. You can look and you can see that's
they promised the
Again, she's just spot on here. Whoever this random lady is absolutely cooking him. There is no pragmatic reason that those without violent offenses should not be given some sort of a pathway, whether you want to say residency or citizenship, I don't really care. This feigned outrage at Democrats like holding this position of amnesty no longer stands. MAGA supported 1,500 people getting pardoned. They were absolute criminals, including those who beat cops that later died, all because they voted for the guy that they voted for, right? So it's like, who cares what you guys think? And they're also they voted a felon into the presidency, rapist into the presidency. But yeah, tell me how this civil infraction is a step too far. Why would we punish others for the failure of our own system to adequately address these cases? How does that fix anything going forward? The key is obviously you fix the holes in the immigration system. You make it easier to immigrate legally, as to where that is more incentivized than to do so illegally. And you allow those here without violent offenses a pathway to stay permanently, either as citizens or as residents. Again, I don't really care, so they can continue helping our economy and helping themselves and their families, both as taxpayers and consumers.